Nobody cheats in Escape from Tarkov. All of the clips shown 100% legit and nobody cheats in any game, period. I am a delusional little Australian man who has no idea what I'm talking about. Enjoy the video.
He can barely afford his rent, resorting to lying to make content about me so that he can make a few $100 off of ad revenue.
And this is why your name's 10 IQ.
If you think the things that you do and say to people aren't the kinds of things that make them want to kill themselves, you need help. You need therapy.
Get good.
Enjoy the perm ban, you absolute dickhead, mate.
Get good.
And this is why your name's 10 IQ. And this is why your name's 10 IQ.
Velian can afford to take you to court for this. He can. He actually makes a pretty good living. I have nothing to do with this monetarily, but what I can tell you is that he secured himself an incredibly proficient lawyer, very proficient, and whether or not he sues you is irrelevant. He's going to make a claim on it, and because of the way that the legal system in the United States works, that is something that you will have to try to defend officially. If you believe that your content is not violating DMCA in any way, shape, or form, you will need legal representation to safeguard whatever it is that you believe that you are entitled to post. In failing to do so, the video will stay down, you'll have a copyright strike, and honestly, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Get good.
And this is why your name's 10 IQ.
Get good.
All of these people that come in literally have half a brain cell. All that guy could have done was ask for my permission.
Yeah, troll, griefer, liar, criminal. That's all he is. He can barely afford his rent, resorting to lying to make content about me, then brags that he's safe to make videos on me. He's a criminal.
Actually, this 10 IQ gaming, aren't you that fuckwit, babe?
Get good.
And this is why your name's 10 IQ.
He said that I was middle-aged trying to act like I was 18 by talking about yacht party. 10 IQ said that. And that I'm attention-seeking online. And that I'm self-obsessed.
You know what's funny is the guy came to my chat and we looked at his chat logs and me and Trey's chat, and he came into my chat and he goes, "Hey Hutch, very big YouTuber here, just coming to check in to make sure everything's going fine. If you have any problems, just ask."
Man, who said that?
10 IQ.
Who said that to you?
Yeah, in my chat, this wife.
And what are the chances that that was a headshot?
Skill issue. Get good.
Money? Get money? No, please. No, please.
Skill issue. Get good.
Okay, gentlemen, we have another massive video. So I just had a long break from YouTube, very, very peaceful break from the internet and YouTube. And we're gonna get into some of the issues, some of the rebuttals that certain people had before I went away, and we'll address them now if anyone does care, and we'll be getting back into our usual uploading. Let's get into the video.
People were claiming that Riley's skill level jumped up dramatically from the first day of the beta to the second. And this is definitely true. Her skill level did jump up dramatically. The channel 10IQ Gaming has a video exposing this.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, boys. Big aim moment. Ready? Here we go. Oh, can he land a shot? Oh, he missed. He overshot it. No way he missed. Damn. The only kills that he gets, the literal only kills that he can land is kills where a player doesn't know he's there. That's the only time he wins a gunfight.
As you can tell, this is very deep and thoughtful analysis. But there is actually a key difference between day 1 and day 2, and it's the frame rate. Notice in the day 1 clips, the frame rate is double digits, and on day 2, the frame rate is a consistent rate of over 200. 10IQ Gaming doesn't seem to think that frame rate matters, and asserts that this is just an excuse.
From noob to pro overnight. I don't give if you play Kovac and you're used to 300 FPS, bro, you're still gonna have some skill at 90. and not just be a total bot, struggling to get more than 3 kills per game? How do you go from struggling to get 3-4 kills a game to just dominating like that?
However, this just seems to be a huge display of ignorance. It's a well-established proven fact that the frame rate drastically affects aim. In 2019, Linus Tech Tips conducted an experiment comparing different frame rates and its effect on aim, an experiment which included a couple of professional gamers. And in this experiment, it showed that for the flick aim test, which is exactly the type of aiming that Riley is being called out for, aiming ability doubled, going from 60 FPS to 144 FPS.
Now, the majority of Karl Jobst' video was shredding Call of Shame for being an AI-generated channel. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, in my mind, to work out that an AI-generated channel, AI-generated slot. I, myself, was banned on my 10IQ account from commenting on the Call of Shame channel because of issues I had previously with Call of Shame and the Supergirl persona. And at the time, I was commenting that it was very clear to me that Supergirl was cheating and stream sniping in those videos. And if any of you have actually watched my channel for a long time, that's where I get a lot of my knowledge from with this stuff. I used to be a person who was hired or rounded up by cheat developers and given accounts and free access to cheats and told to go after streamers, kill streamers. And because I had a skill or I had a knowledge in video editing, I would then edit and develop my own videos and do all the branding and stuff with cheat logos and stuff in it, and then give it to cheat developers, and they in turn would use that for promotion and give me free access or pay me for doing that in return. And that's how, when I first started cheating myself, that's how I got a lot of my cheat access for free for doing that. And I outlined that whole thing to the Tarkov player base when I started this channel, and that's how I started on my road of calling out people that are cheating and that whole scene. And that's where all my knowledge comes from. I was that person for a long time. And once I grew up and changed and had a child and went through a lot in life, I had a very different life to a lot of people. And that's the knowledge I turn back to when I call out the stuff that I do now. And in me commenting that on the channel, I was then banned from Call of Shame's, blocked, banned, couldn't comment on the channel. And I had to then comment on my 10IQ Gaming Uncut channel to be able to speak on Call of Shame's channel when he was referencing me in some of his points that he was making in some of his community posts and things like that. I had issues with that channel. I think any logical grown man could see that a lot of that channel was a lot of trust me bros and not logical stuff. And I think if you didn't have an issue with that, then you weren't a logical person. Now, Karl Jobst pointed out that I was cherry picking certain topics or moments, but Karl Jobst only spoke of one of my points. And when I made that point, I wasn't saying this is proof why Riley is cheating. I was saying this is an issue that I have. Now, Karl Jobst's rebuttal is that FPS can double performance. Now, my issue was, if he actually listened, was how does someone go from 100 FPS and 3 kills per game to 220 FPS and 100 mil views on Twitter and everyone losing their minds, and because he's getting insane amount of kills and flicking around and killing everyone and doing inhumane things. That was my issue. But then Karl Jobst's rebuttal is someone's gameplay is going to double in performance because of FPS. Well, he was getting 3 kills per match. So if your rebuttal's true, then that means he gets 6 kills per match now because he has better FPS. But that wasn't my issue. My issue was 3 kills per match to God tier. FPS doesn't make up for that. Now, a logical person who watches my channel knows that cheats don't come out for a game until day 2 or 3 of a game's release. And that was when Riley, all of a sudden, had God tier gameplay. Only 2 or 3 days after the game's release. Just like anyone who's using a cheat would. We all seen it with Suddenly Toast. We've seen Suddenly Toast magically go from bot to God tier day 2 or 3 of the games, after a patch or whatever. We've seen it a ton on my channel. It's just a logical fact. People that cheat, usually they won't even stream until day 2 or 3 after a patch or a game's release. That's just reality. That's a logical fact. Now, in saying that, I'm going to give you the full timeline of my issues with Riley and the points that I raised. Now, Now, how I started out with this whole Riley situation was I actually started out as someone defending Riley, having only seen the gameplay and the flicking type gameplay. I initially was a defender. I didn't have any other information apart from the gameplay, and I was saying to people, you can't just call cheats just off this gameplay. That wasn't my initial issue. I'm going to go through my initial issues now. Never knew Riley. I believe I even made a couple of comments defending her and suggesting to people that they were, you know, they didn't really have any evidence. I mean, they had some suspicious clips, but they didn't really have any crazy evidence. They just had some crazy gameplay, you know, so maybe just calm down a little bit. That was what I was telling people to do. But this is RileyCS's opinion of me. Let's let that play real quick.
Did 10IQ Gaming make a video about me? There's no way. Or is he in here? Dude, fucking 10IQ Gaming, the most accurate name. Why do you instantly ban 10IQ? That guy's YouTube videos are awful. Doesn't he think Desmond is cheating? If you think Desmond is cheating, you just, you know, there's something going on.
I showed up in a Riley stream and was singled out, pointed out, and banned from the channel instantly. And RileyCS knew who I was and knew that I was a creator who goes after people that cheat in video games and PC scans people. That was a big part of my content at the time. All that kind of stuff. Now, if you are cheating, something I've dealt with a lot on this channel is people that are cheating who instantly ban me and lie about me, and that's immediately what RileyCS done. Pointed me out in chat, banned me so I couldn't reply, and then made up a total lie about me and said that I claimed Desmond Pilak cheats in Escape from Tarkov, when I never claimed that. I never claimed that. And anyone who watches my channel, say it in the comments. Have I ever claimed Desmond Pilak cheats in Escape from Tarkov? I never have, and I never would. It's not a belief of mine. It's not. There's nothing that supports that. With just gameplay alone, there's nothing to support that claim. That's a total lie. Why would Riley push that on his channel? That's a lie. These streams here, not everyone else can access these. Put them up so people can watch them. Okay. And then on top of that, we get to the deleting of all of the VODs once getting accused of cheating. Now, so certain people said, oh, all the VODs got deleted because he got banned and Twitch just deletes all your VODs if you get banned. Now, I'm a creator. If all my work got removed from the internet, I wouldn't get to 3 days later and be like, oh, I didn't know all my stuff got deleted, and then return a portion of it. What about you, Karl Jobst? You'd be proud of the content that you make. Would you just not know that all of your content was removed from the internet for 3 days and then put up a portion of it? Constantly hidden and privated, and videos on YouTube being taken down and deleted and whatnot. Riley has put VODs back up. However, if you take a look, I mean, she's put most of them back up. Yeah, this one gone. This one gone. Yeah, don't know. Who knows? But yeah, they're back up. For your guys' enjoyment, if you want to watch them, since I, stated that probably not a good idea to start privating VODs once people accuse you of cheating. Riley came to my channel. Now, the only issue in my first video that she would address or reply to is, oh, I just unprivated the VODs, but she wouldn't explain the ban on Twitch in October 2024. No answer for that. No answer for all the other issues that got raised in the video. Just went around my comments answering the same question like 7 times. The VODs are back up. The VODs are back up. Okay, congrats. You put the VODs back up that you privated once you got accused of cheating. Or you got temp banned, so they all got privated, but selected ones didn't. But now most of them are back up, but 2 aren't. Anyway, no, you wouldn't. That's crazy. That's not logical. What do cheaters do every time they get accused of cheating? They instantly remove all their VODs and then return a portion of them and pretend, I didn't know that happened, guys. Sorry, and then return a selected amount of VODs. Also, logically, from this standpoint, I have to see that and say I have huge issues with that. Anyone would. That's you don't do that. No one does that. Tarkov gameplay from Riley. When we saw Riley recently playing, when all that Battlefield stuff went down, Riley had Tarkov installed on her PC. Now, on her Twitter, there is only 2 clips of Riley playing Tarkov.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, does anybody have a collie or a corrugated hose?
The Tarkov community is a different animal when it comes to cheating. There's no trust me bros. There's no I'm just good at the game. You're bad if you think I'm cheating. There's none of that. There's show account now. Taking VODs down means you cheat. All this stuff that just seems to be acceptable in Battlefield or COD, it doesn't happen over here in Tarkov. Deleting VODs is an instant you cheat. Firing a fully stock foul like this I mean,
a collie or a corrugated hose.
That's either you cheat or show me your account right now. I want to see what's going on here. There's no trust me bros in the Tarkov community. There's just not. That's why I'm thankful to be making these videos in the Tarkov community, where a lot of players are very fed up with cheating. They don't accept trust me bros. They don't just accept a streamer saying, oh, I'm just good, bro. I'm just good. And then people just believe that blindly with no proof. No Steam account to show proof of all these hours. Just nothing to show or prove. Just a trust me bro. That's another very logical point. It took us almost 2 weeks just to get Riley to take the Steam account off private, to which we could actually see the gameplay experience. And on top of that, I proved that Riley has used 4 or 5 different Steam accounts in her time gaming. Another huge red flag. Why are you traversing all these different accounts? And even the videos that Riley uploads, it's always multiple accounts. It's never the same account. And the Tarkov account that Riley uploaded content of, we never got an answer for that. We never got shown the account. And at the time, if I ever tried to access it, it didn't exist. It didn't exist. But Riley had Escape from Tarkov installed. I mean, couldn't you just start the game and show us your account, Riley? Why didn't you do that? You never did it. And I noticed the Escape from Tarkov was then conveniently uninstalled and it never got mentioned again. We never saw the Tarkov account. You can't lie with the Tarkov account. It shows you how many hours. I would say that account probably had a couple of 100 hours, and that's why we never got a reply to that. Just like we never got a reply to why do you use 4 or 5 different Steam accounts. That's not what legit players do. They just don't do that. And Karl Jobst made a comment about recoil control. If you played Tarkov 2 years ago with a FAL, it doesn't matter how much recoil control you had. You couldn't mitigate the end of your barrel going up in the air. Yeah, it would still go up in the air, but you'd pull it down. But if you look here closely at Riley controlling the FAL, the end of the barrel doesn't move. How's that possible? That was never answered either. You know, I don't believe trust me bros. I look into things more. The only people giving out trust me bros are lying cheaters. I don't accept trust me bros. I don't. Not on this channel. The FAL that we just saw on her Twitter account, if you look at the bottom left of the screen, this was in January or December 2024. December 2023 or January 2024. Somewhere around there. About 1 year and 8 or 9 months ago. Now, this was when Tarkov's recoil was a lot more than what it was now. For the Tarkov players watching this, do you ever remember running a scav and getting the stock SA58 2 years ago? The recoil is insane. I did notice that Riley does still have Tarkov installed. I guess she still plays it. And she's been uploading Tarkov content here and there for, 3, 4, going on 5 years now. So has a very good friend, Amy. Maybe you guys can show your accounts on stream. I noticed you were mentioning all the hours you have in all these games. What about Tarkov? To control recoil like that, you must have a bit of experience in the game, no? Surely, right? Can we see your account? Or is that just another trust me bro? It indeed was another trust me bro. Riley gave out more trust me bros than Call of Shame did. It's easy to point out Call of Shame was a trust me bro channel, but RileyCS was also a massive trust me bro enthusiast. And I don't believe trust me bros. And just because Call of Shame quotes some of the things I said, doesn't mean me and him are in cahoots. I don't know the guy. It's easy to pick out one point of mine and give an answer that suggests that I'm wrong. But what about all the other points that I made? Very logical points. That point that lead down the road of someone using tradecraft. The same tradecraft a cheater uses. Once they get called out, all their VODs mysteriously vanishing and them having a perfect excuse for it every time, and then only a select few coming back, and then never answering why they use 4 or 5 different Steam accounts and all the just crazy stuff that went on. A massive issue I have is the fact that Karl Jobst cites a lot of the things that Enders claims. But he doesn't speak on the fact that Enders was proven to lie. Enders was a proven liar. He lied about many things during that. He was acting as a friend who was just desperately trying to give answers to things, and he flat out says that he was just making assumptions, got caught lying about several things, and in my videos I pointed out that he's someone who shouldn't be trusted because he was proven to lie, and he blocked me on Twitter. I'm still blocked by him to this day after I pointed out that he lied.
She's not showing anything. She's not answering anything. She got banned off Twitch for 7 days for cheating. Everyone's answer is, well, everyone just hates VTubers. They're just bullying her because she's trans. No, that's not logical. That's not logical. These people are not logical. So I decided to do a bit of a deeper dive into Enders. This guy, man, he's defending the VTuber, right? Furiously defending the VTuber all over the internet. Then he posts a tweet stating, where's this idea coming from that I defended Nadia? Where's this idea coming from? That's not true. I never did that. On this man's own post, okay? On this man's own post, Bad Boy Beeman and other channels like his are probably some of the worst channels on YouTube. I don't even play Warzone, and I've heard about Nadia cheating, so I watch it. It's so blatantly obvious that she isn't cheating, just a circle jerk of bots who are trash. Nadia was banned from Call of Duty, game banned, for cheating.
Bro.
Game banned for cheating. This is the thing, okay? And this isn't the only time he's got around defending her. Here's another example. Defending Nadia again. And he literally made a Twitter post denying it, saying he never defended her. He was online furiously defending her. The same way, in 2-3 months' time, he's going to be denying the fact that he defended Riley when she gets game banned. He's like, I never defended her, guys. I never defended her. I decided to pop into his stream.
How come you never went to an offline tournament to compete since you're insane at FPS?
What I think's happening right here is a long-time viewer asking, hey man, how come you've never performed at a LAN before? How come we only ever get to see you play from home, bro? All these years and you've only ever played from home, bro. Why don't you go to a LAN, dude? Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look too happy about this question. We'll check out his response and then I'll get to the point.
So you think these things just pop up? You think there's just like offline Battlefield tournaments and like just like you think, let's say, right, there's an offline there's a LAN event for Mortal Kombat, but I'm an FPS player. Am I just gonna go play that? Or there's an offline Counter-Strike event. Like, I don't play Counter-Strike, so I'm not gonna go to it. Like kind of fucking thought process is this?
I noticed he was playing with a particular teammate. The name was familiar to me because I've seen a lot of this same community of trans people saying that this creator was also extremely bullied for no reason. Another creator from Ender's circle of just cracked aimer COD pros unfairly bullied for some reason. No one knows, but we should just furiously defend them with based off just trust me, bros. And what do you know? That's Focus. That's the guy they're all talking about in Ender's Discord. The hard done by guy who just had a rough run and no one can figure out why all these terrible things have happened to him. Let's take a look online at his gaming career also. Wow. 276 kill world record. Battlefield 2042. Why has no one heard of this guy? Banned. 100% cheats. Wow. So, turns out, Focus was banned. The reason for his ban on one account was because he was linked to this account, which was banned by, I guess, Battlefield 4 admins or God knows. But the reason his main was banned was because it was linked to this account that was banned. So, I mean, you have a guy who furiously defends multiple cheaters, okay, while playing with banned cheaters. I mean, I'm looking at this guy's YouTube. If this guy cheated 8 years ago and he come out and said, yeah, look, it was a stupid thing I did, you know, who am I to judge? I don't see that video. I don't see it. I mean, I see world record claims, but I don't see the, yeah, I got banned and I made a terrible choice of cheating. I don't see that video.
Again, these clips aren't cheated in my opinion. If I thought they were cheated, I would have called it out myself. I would have probably also made a video, the exact opposite style that I'm making right now covering this. And if Team EXE didn't remove Riley, I would have removed myself from the team because obviously I don't want to be associated with anything like that. So there's that. I hope this video made sense to anybody watching it.
But yeah, I mean, if you asked Enders about this guy, though, we all know what answer you'd get.
Again, these clips aren't cheated in my opinion. Again, these clips aren't cheated in my opinion.
What's up over there?
Again, these clips aren't cheated in my opinion.
These are all massive points that I pointed out in my videos, but you know, people like Karl Jobst won't have an answer for any of those because they can't. There is no logical answer for those things. There is no logical answers. Why? Why? The last thing I want to touch on in this video is a lot of people around Riley will suggest that, you know, Riley's intentionally trying to act like a cheater to rage bait people. If you know that someone is intentionally acting a certain way to rage bait everyone, why do you all jump to the person's defense once people claim that Riley's a cheater? If you yourself admit that Riley is acting like a cheater, it's not logical. If someone acts like a thief and goes around a rich neighborhood acting like a thief, why should everyone feel sorry for them when that person then gets accused of being a thief? It's like you see these creators that go to other countries and act like a jackass and then get arrested in places like Thailand and then get years in prison. Everyone will cheer then. But what about a creator who acts like a cheater but then gets accused of being a cheater? I don't understand everyone then jumping to that person's defense. Isn't that kind of the road that RileyCS wanted to go down as a creator, acting like a cheater? Why is it such a terrible, terrible thing if that person then gets accused of being a cheater? I don't understand. And if you look at Riley's response to a lot of the claims, Riley never gave a response. The only responses Riley gave was watch my live streams and just tried to drive viewership from it. But then all the people around Riley came to the defense. Not Riley, just the people around Riley and anyone that spoke to Riley. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me at all. You're defending someone who wants to be known as a cheater to the death. Do you not understand that this person is going to go on to act like a cheater and will forever be accused of cheating? Would you guys defend me if I went and acted like a thief? No, no one would. A lot of people would just say, well, that's kind of silly of you, man. I don't understand that outlook either. I've yet to see one creator pick out the points or the issues that I raised and have a logical rebuttal for all of them. Yeah, they might be able to point out one issue and give a rebuttal that makes sense of a tiny little bit of a jump in performance, but not the jump in performance that we saw. Because that performance was like night and day, which is what I said in my video. It was like night and day, not double the... No. Doubling 3 kills per game would mean 6 kills per game, not world class and 100 million views on Twitter and everyone's saying that person cheats. That's a huge difference, a massive difference. Let's stay in reality, please.